Alright, tonight we have a game between myself, just random Zerg, versus another Zerg player. Diamond League, I'm at about 1100 points right now. This guy was slightly favored. I checked him afterwards, he was about 1220, 1250, something like that, and he always picks Zerg. Now, I saw a really interesting Zerg v Zerg build last night, or 2 nights ago actually, when I was observing some high-level Diamond play, people who are higher than me. I love learning new strategies. It called for defending, not expanding, going straight for roaches, getting speed and burrow. And what you do is you use burrow and you micro your roaches to keep their HP up because they regenerate faster when burrowed, and you push against the Zerglings and Banelings, which are inevitable first move by other Zerg players. Now the key for this strategy, I think, and what I was going for here, was getting it fast enough and getting a big enough army so that I could get to his base and defeat him before he got to Mutalisk, at which point it would be much harder for me to take him out, especially on Scrap Station where it's such a close map. So easy to get between the two bases with Mutalisk, this tiny area, as well as just control the map after that with those Mutalisks out, pushing around, being able to control the expansions. Now I've thrown out my spawning pool here at 13 with my 13th. He is also throwing up an extractor first, and then he's throwing up his spawning pool at 13 as well. We're both scouting each other's bases, seeing when those pools are coming up, both of us seeing that each other are going an econ build. He built his spawning pool a little further away, probably a better call a little bit later on the scouting. I probably should have put mine over here. Now a key thing when you're doing this strategy, and what I tried to think while I was doing this, was I need to get enough roaches to kind of block my ramp, as well as take out that initial giant wave of Zerglings / Banelings. Now I built my spawning pool here, and not over here where it was further away, because it makes a little choke point here, and you can place like one roach there, and the Zerglings will have to run around, and you can kind of defend all of your drones here as easily as possible. Now I'm throwing out my Roach Warren at, it looks like, 15 supply. He's a little bit heavier on econ than me. He has 2 more drones. He's harvesting gas from 1 extractor. I am 2. We both have most of our overlords placed in the same locations, near each other's expansions, so we can see when they're going out, and near each other's ramps. And I have one back behind his base to see if he throws up any tech back there, like a spire. He's probably going to try and guard that as close as possible. He may proxy it. He may hide it, but we'll see. I'm sending out my queen here to try and chase off that overlord, prevent it from just sneaking back in, getting sacrificed, and scouting any play I have coming up. He did not scout my Roach Warren when he was up here, so that's why I'm making sure he gets pushed away. Now he does retreat very quickly to this fog, and my queen, barely too slow, goes into the fog, can't see it. I let it go. It's time to go back. I have 25 energy. More important than I get these roaches pumping out here with the larva. Now he's throwing down his Baneling nest. We're both about equal right now. I have 16, he has 17 drones. He's harvesting gas from 1, I'm harvesting from 2. So I'm a little bit lighter on my minerals, but I need that gas for these roaches. I have 2 roaches out, he has 6 Zerglings. Both of us able to defend if the other one pushed right now, so we're both gathering up a little more forces. Now, in a minute, I believe, I kind of move my queen right here when I see the attack coming. Like I said, it's really good to make a little choke here. Yeah, see? Make a little choke area here so the Zerglings have to run around, and only 1 or 2 can kind of, or probably like 2 or 3 actually can probably beat up on the queen there, but that's better than getting totally surrounded. If they're smart, they're going to aim for your queen regardless, so it's best to try and get it as protected as possible. Let me looking at the production tab here. You see I'm going for Burrow and Glial Reconstitution, which is the speed upgrade, at the same time. He's morphing a lot of Zerglings, so those will be coming my way in a moment. I believe I did scout some of these Zerglings a moment ago. They kind of ran up. We're kind of scouting my ramp, and I saw him here. I'm dropping Creep here. I know he has no air units over here. Yeah, it's going to speed his Zerglings into my base, but it's going to be able to help me keep my roaches near my ramp a little bit better. I probably should have used this overlord right here, placed it here, and had that also, because if he's smart, he can do a run by. Looks like Banelings are coming up. He's going to be trying for his push here in a moment. He has quite a large army. compared to my roaches. Kind of position my roaches as much as possible to try and block as many of those coming in. Those banelings are blowing up all my roaches, which is what I want. I don't want those getting into my drones. Now he is going to take down this queen, but I have all of his zerglings surrounded. They're not going to get out, and these roaches are going to finish him off with minimal casualties to my drones. I think I lost like 2, maybe 3 drones there. I'm throwing up some more roaches and sending the ones I have across the map. If I need to, I can burrow those, regenerate their HP very quickly. He's throwing up a spire. He saw my roach army. He knows it's coming. I'm not sure why he's not throwing up defense. He's already expanded, and I do see this because my overlord is over here. It sees the creep. So we're going to see what he tries to throw up in defense. I probably would have, if I were him, pumped out a lot more. He has, oh no, he doesn't have the minerals. I probably would have canceled that expansion when my attack failed, but doesn't look like it's going to work out for him. He's quite a few zerglings coming in right now, but it's going to be too little too late. I'm focusing down the layer as fast as possible to prevent him trying to throw up a Hydra Den or a Roach Warren or anything remotely tech-wise at his expansion. Now I am going to try and burrow some of these roaches a little bit to keep them alive. I have 1 burrowed right now. I'd burrow these 2. And it's really important with this strategy because it's really relying on the fact that he can't he calls the game and leaves. What's really important about this strategy is taking out a layer so they can't get overseers to detect your burrowed roaches. In the game that I watched last night where the player used this strategy against another Zerg, the other player was a little slow on getting overseers, and that really helped the player who went roaches with burrow get the victory. And that's what I was aiming for here. Taking out the layer is imperative. I knew he had his expansion. For all I knew, he could have thrown up 3 or 4 spine crawlers over there and had zerglings over there, and I would have had to push and take that out too. He could have held on a little bit longer, especially because he knew I was 1-basing, and he did do some damage to my economy. He may have been able to come back from this if he had those spine crawlers and zerglings over there and maybe another queen. Who knows? Which is why I was still trying to heal my units and why I was focusing the layer, because if there's no overseers, he cannot stop the roaches burrowing, and they're just going to eat through zerglings all day long. They can't really be stopped for zerglings as long as you burrow these correctly. So this was a Zerg v Zerg game at about the 1100 plus diamond level, and it was the Roach push versus Zerglings Banelings early, and no fast expand, 1 base Roach play. Thanks for tuning in.